Yo, what's going on everybody? Arie here and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're gonna be doing a little bit of a case study on a really interesting store that I found that's actually a French store, which is something I think is really interesting. And one of the main advantages to selling things online nowadays is that you can literally sell to anywhere in the world. And that's why this case study specifically may serve as good motivation for you to finally just start your business, or for entertainment, or just for informational purposes. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Now, I've been meaning to make an update to my starting a brand from scratch Shopify series playlist that I'm making. That was a mouthful. And I'm pretty sure that my next video will be episode 4 of that series. And we'll talk about the finances and all the little kind of the boring stuff that honestly isn't really my favorite part of an e-commerce business, but nevertheless, it's still extremely important. And hopefully after this video, you as well as myself will have some stuff to take away from this case study that we can apply to our brands. Now, as you can see on my screen, we're averaging about $300 a day now on this brand that we started a couple months ago profitably. So this store is actually now earning me and my girlfriend a little bit of an income on the side, which is amazing. And the fact that we started it out as a brand from the beginning has allowed us to get really consistent results and zero issues when it comes to PayPal and Shopify. In fact, as you can see, we just got paid the other day a fat little check onto our new bank account. And again, most likely my next video and the next episode update on that series is going to be talking about finances and stuff like that, because that's been hugely essential to the smooth sailing of the store. This literally, I don't really do much at this point besides manage the ads. And I'll get my girlfriend in on that video as well to talk about how she's sort of been handling all this stuff, because this is new to her. So I appreciate your patience with that series. It's kind of a slow moving series because again, I'm taking this store really seriously and I really want it to be a permanent income for the both of us from here on out. So it's really important for me to not really rush anything and do things the right way, which hopefully will serve as a great example for you guys. Now, this store today, the store that I'm actually referring to is called Pauline, and right away, we're on the store right now. You can see that they're quite impressive. I mean, this video alone looks very luxurious. I love the minimal vibe that they're giving off, but it's also really stunning and striking. The really crazy drone shots and just like the immense background, as you can see, it just looks so dope. I really love when brands go above and beyond like this. That's really cool. In order to afford this sort of branding, I'm sure that they're spending a lot of money, and they're not just spending a lot of money, they're also making a lot of money. And how do I know that? Well, I'm using a tool called SimilarWeb. We use this in every one of these case studies. If you do check out another one of my case studies, you'll probably see the same tool being used. So might as well note it and get it yourself. It's free. And what this tool does is it gives us an estimate of the traffic that they're driving to their store. So in this case, you can see that in May, for example, they drove 680,000 monthly visitors, which is a ridiculous amount of visitors. And just how you can see from this store that I mentioned, our revenue to sessions ratio is usually 1-to-1. So for example, with 300 visitors, we make 300 in sales. So with that said, we can assume that this brand is doing at least $680,000 in sales per month, but I would actually take that estimate and double it. The main reason being the fact that their bags are literally $300 plus. So as you can see, they sell bags. It's nothing too complicated. And in fact, the bag designs, in my opinion, are quite simple, but they're really elegant, and they're simple in a way that resonates with me a lot. I love things that are simple, but in a beautiful way. And this sort of falls under that category, in my opinion. I mean, even just this whole vibe, it's so aesthetically pleasing. The model's beautiful, the background's beautiful, everything looks minimal, it looks very well put together, and I'm sure it was done by design. I don't think that's an accident. And I think this is something that's noteworthy when it comes to the luxury fashion world. So clearly their product design is very simple, but it's done purposefully, and I really love that. Now let's check out their product pages real quick. So as you can see, they're selling this bag in particular. This is probably one of their best sellers, and they're selling it for $490. But look at their store. This is something that I think is noteworthy. Like the fonts that they pick, these actually do pair really well with the rest of the fonts on the store, even though they're so out there. Like this reminds me of like a permanent marker font, kind of like the Cybertruck. If when they released the Cybertruck, they used like a permanent marker font. That's kind of what this reminds me of. And personally, I really love that. And then they got the italic, like Georgia type of font. And something that we see in these luxury stores a lot is them not really using a huge description. They're not really trying to sell you too hard on it. They're kind of making the product speak for itself. I love this product photography, by the way. Like, the scenic background is just sick. And all they're really doing is giving you some minor details. So as you can see, full grain textured calf leather, handmade in Spain, delivered in an elegant card box, suede effect interior. So very simple, to the point. And let's say you did want to start a store like this. This is something that could help you compete, is not using actual animal leather and using some sort of synthetic alternative. Even though I actually have heard that that's not as sustainable as you may think, because a lot of the materials used for synthetic leather are plastics. I'm no expert though, so please feel free to correct me in the comments. But as you see, the leather bag trend is actually extremely strong. Like, if I could put money on this trend, I probably would, because, you know, this looks like a pretty safe investment. It keeps having, you know, higher highs every year, and it consistently goes up, except for right here. That was a big dip, but maybe it had something to do with the pandemic. Who knows? That's actually kind of interesting. The point is, in the US, people are clearly still buying leather goods, and that's probably not going to stop anytime soon if we judge by this trend. And on Alibaba, there's actually a pretty ridiculous amount of designs that you could start with. Of course, I would not recommend that you try to rip off any other brand like Louis Vuitton, for example. I mean, this is clearly like a rip off of Louis Vuitton. It's not exactly the same, but there are other bag designs that, if you're fashion savvy, you could find something that's innovative and fits, you know, whatever type of brand that you're trying to build, which of course that's up to you. But these bags, for example, I think look super cool. These are very minimal. I'm not a huge fan of the braid, but otherwise it looks pretty dope. And, you know, $29 per piece, if you can sell it for $100 and you can add some really cool branding materials and a really cool value proposition to it, you may have a pretty dope brand on your hands. So that's something to consider. Now let me read you real quick what this brand's all about. So Pauline is a new top-end leather goods brand based in Paris. Pauline is a Parisian leather goods brand founded in 2016 by two brothers and a sister, so 3 siblings. The brand's collections embody confident and classical true line combined with fluid and graceful curves. Inspired by the work of designers such as Madeleine Vianet, Mariano Fortuny, and Madame Gray, folds were incorporated into the collections, thus enhancing the leather's malleability and strengthening the sculptural aspect of the designs. The brothers' expert knowledge and passion for quality pushed them to use the best handmade artisan production in Spain. Wow, pretty cool, super simple, love it. I actually really vibe with that, and that's surprising that the brand was founded in 2016 and they're already this big. That's pretty amazing. I wonder how much money they're spending on ads. Actually, we may not know exactly how much they're spending on ads, but at the very least, we can go on their Facebook page, go on page transparency, and then we can go to their ad library and check out what type of ads they're currently running right now. So of course, as a fashion brand, this brand is huge on Instagram. So they're posting on Instagram very, very consistently, and they're getting a pretty decent amount of engagement, probably due to the brand aesthetic that they're running. I mean, personally, I love it. I really vibe with it. I love things that use nature like this, like immense nature, in order to accentuate the minimalist side of it. I don't know, that's kind of how I look at it. Maybe that's looking too deep in between the lines, but I don't think so. So for a brand of this size, they're actually not running that many ads. They're running 34 different ads currently at the moment, most of them being picture ads, and of course, nice little carousel ads as well. This is really, really clever when it comes to a fashion brand. I mean, the products, again, sort of speak for themselves, so there's really not much you could say about them. Let's see here. Wow. I love it. They've done such a good job. I love the brand. It's so dramatic, but it ties in so well with this like high quality, luxury, opulent vibe that they're going for. I love it. I personally think there's a lot to unpack from here. And, you know, for any of you that may be fashion savvy or just in general want to start a brand with quality, this is probably like the poster child of how to make a successful luxury goods brand. You know, they're not that old. They're 5 years old and they're already in the millions of dollars per month. range, which is pretty unbelievable. And you know, this is the kind of thing that you can accomplish when you just really try to build a brand from the beginning. And this is what I'm attempting to do here with my girlfriend in this store. So make sure that you turn on the post notifications on for the channel so you can stay up to date on that playlist. And of course, if you did enjoy this case study, make sure you check out some of my other ones. I have a whole playlist of basically endless amounts of case studies that you could watch if you're trying to learn more about e-commerce brands and stuff of that sort. I learned a ton from just making these videos, and I'm sure that you guys probably learned a lot from watching them as well. At least I hope you do. If you do, make sure you drop a like on the video. That always helps support the channel. And leave me a comment with whatever it is you're thinking about, even if it's just about the weather outside or the Euro Cup not coming home to England. Whatever it is, let me know in the comments. I'd love to have some conversations. And with that said, that's it. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.
Nike's on my feet, keep my sight.